Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with
Nerdarchist Ted.
Nerdarchy tells you why to play unoptimized class and race combos in your D&D game.
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with us.
Alright, silly race and class combinations. Why would anyone ever want to do them? And what exactly does that even mean?
This concept is where you take a mechanically
Unoptimized?
there you go, unoptimized choice to play with a class. For instance, half-orc bard. In no way, shape, or form, playing a half-orc doesn't fit with playing a bard. Maybe you could stretch that out. Well, I'm going to be an uncharismatic bard, and I'm going to go valor, and, it loosely fits. But the two are just kind of counterintuitive.
And that's actually the other area as well, from not the mechanical side of things, but the role-playing side of things, is building a character from the ground up, and story-wise seems counterintuitive to what that person would be.
So, a couple examples. Besides your half-orc bard, you've got your...
Any small character as a barbarian seems unoptimized and ridiculous.
Now, there's no strength penalty within 5th edition for gnomes and halflings, but barbarians are about strength, they're about size, and those guys they don't seem to cut it.
Well, you could take, if you also were to take your half-orcs and your Goliaths and you make them wizards, it just doesn't seem to fit.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of anti-half-orc here, but it's not really that.
Well, no, what it speaks to is some races are just... They speak to certain pursuits. Some of them just excel at more cerebral pursuits, or their abilities and their suite of abilities will complement that. Or there are other ones like the Goliath and the half-orc, where for the most part their abilities are all about physicality, and it only really supports those types of classes as having a good synergy.
Well, there's that, and the actual RP and story of the given races go along with that it's like, okay, this is not something that they would typically pursue. And that's the point that we're kind of getting at.
Well, exactly. Like, we're not actually saying don't play those. What we're saying is they could be fun and interesting. And we have a whole series where we build unorthodox character builds, so we're no stranger to these at all.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of rewarding reasons to play these type of characters in your game. Mechanically, you're probably not going to, but story-wise and building a fun adventure with those characters, I think you can totally do it.
So many players actually care so much about the mechanics of the game, especially if you're like, well, I'm going to go with the basic stat array. I don't have that chance of getting 2 18s to start, or, any of that kind of craziness. You have a set thing, so it means, okay, well, if I go with an unoptimized race and I say, okay, well, I'm going to put my dump stat in, whatever I get a +2 in, and all right, now at least I get rid of my negatives, but my good stats are then going to suffer. They're not going to be 3s. They're going to be a +2. So you suffer essentially from the beginning at a -1 to whatever it is that would be your prime stat.
Just because you haven't built the most effective character you could possibly build doesn't mean he or she isn't going to be fun to play, though.
And I'm right there with you. I like making these crazy choices. Yeah, I enjoy making the things that do work, but having characters that have a crazy reason for why they're this or why they're that, you can make great backstories. What kind of thing can you come up with for why you're playing that half-orc wizard? What on earth could you have done to get a background as a sage, as a half-orc?
What wizard would have ever agreed to teach you magic? How does these things even happen? I love when Pruitt from WebDM talks about Roscoe Threestone, his barbarian halfling, the bane of shins everywhere.
The bane of shins. Nice.
That stuff is so fun. The idea of playing a feral halfling is a lot of fun. I mean, Athos Darksun totally turned the halfling trope on its head when it created cannibals as halflings, and they're all kind of feral.
Been there, done that.
And, when you read the books and the way they're described, like, a halfling swimming through a pond with a knife and it's all of a sudden attacking everyone's Achilles tendon and very Chucky-esque, if you remember those movies. But you can tell like these fun and interesting stories they're a little bit different. It forces you as a player to tackle problems in a different way. The character isn't designed to be the best at what he does. He was designed with flaws and to be fun.
I'm going to take that gnome paladin who's serious all the time, except, in this one specific situation where, he kind of harkens back to some of his gnomish roots. The half-orc bard who, goes through town with his oversized guitar because his digits are so big that he can't wield the normal-sized lute.
The real question is, why isn't he playing a drum? Everyone knows half-orc bards are always the drummer.
No. Bard always has to be able to play a lute. Required.
I don't know about that. Maybe capture the loot. But there are so many good combinations that you can do. The wizard dwarf is a fun one that, in previous editions, you weren't even allowed to play those types. The later editions, they removed a lot of the restrictions. So you can mix these things together that weren't necessarily meant to go together. Like in the early days of the game, the design actually kept you from making these silly combinations. But now we can, and I always encourage my players to play whatever you want. Don't worry about being optimized or playing the most effective thing that you can field in a battle. Play what's going to be fun and you're going to enjoy, and you're going to want to keep playing that character over and over again.
Because when it comes down to it, the fact that your character is optimized and you get to, constantly perform a little bit better, that's not going to be the story that's remembered. The story of the dwarf wizard, the half-orc bard, the halfling paladin, halfling barbarian, like these things scream of, dude, you are not going to believe what Jim did last night. These are the stories that are going to live through the ages of your table, and they're going to just be full of memories and laughter at the antics that these kind of characters get up to.
It's just fun. And like Ted said, a lot of times you end up with more middle of the road stats instead of having like really good ones and really low ones. It's just a fun way to go.
So, do you guys have any cool stories out there that you'd like to share of your unoptimized characters or your silly race class combinations? There's a great place to share that. That's down in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over on Facebook.
So until next time, stay nerdy.